Hey friends, today we're diving into the past, literally, to clean up the grave of a man who brought us something deliciously iconic. Yep, I'm talking about John McIntosh, the guy behind the famous Macintosh apple. So let's get down to business and give Mr. McIntosh's grave the glow up it deserves. But while we scrub away the grime of the past, let's unravel the juicy details of John's life. So who was this John McIntosh? Well, John was born on August 17th, 1777, near Schenectady in the Mohawk Valley of New York State. His story starts off a bit like an epic movie. His dad, Alexander McIntosh, escaped the Jacobite rebellion in Scotland after the Highlanders got completely wrecked by the English at Culloden Moor. We're talking 1746, kilts, swords, bagpipes, total Braveheart vibes. Alexander was just a kid when he escaped, but fast forward a few years and he's shipped off to America with Lord Murray's regiment to fight in the 7 Years' War. This guy survived a musket wound, married a woman named Janet, and eventually brought his family to New York, because why not? Land of opportunity, right? Now let's talk about our boy John. Life was pretty smooth in New York until he fell for a neighbor girl, Doll Irwin. But drama alert, his father wasn't having it. Totally disapproved of the match. So what does John do? He plans to move to Canada with his girl. But tragedy strikes. Dolly crosses over first, and when John finally gets there, he learns she died. Seriously, it was like the ultimate 1796 ghosting. But our guy John didn't give up. He eventually met a new love, Hannah Doran, and settled down on a farm in Dundela, Ontario. One day, while clearing his land, John found some little apple seedlings growing among the wild Canadian bush. Now, this was super weird because apples aren't native to North America. They were brought over by Europeans, but these little trees were stubborn, just like John. Now, John, being the plant-loving, herb-growing, slightly obsessed gardener that he was, decided to transplant these seedlings to his garden. And wouldn't you know it, only one of them survived. And that one tree was the ancestor of every Macintosh apple you've ever eaten. It's like the ultimate family tree, pun absolutely intended. Now, John's son, Alan McIntosh, played a huge role in making sure this apple wasn't just a one-hit wonder. Alan learned how to graft trees and started spreading Macintosh Reds all over Eastern Ontario and beyond. Fun fact, before it was called the Macintosh, locals knew it as Granny's apple, named after John's wife Hannah, who was the whiz with the family orchard. But it wasn't all sunshine and apples. In 1894, a fire ravaged the McIntosh family home, damaging the original apple tree. Although John's son Alan did everything he could to save it, the tree produced its last crop in 1908 and toppled over 2 years later. Now here's a fun fact that's going to make you say, whoa. The stone we're cleaning today isn't just any ordinary headstone. The center block of this monument was actually quarried from the ruins of Clan McIntosh's castle in Scotland. Yep, the very same clan John's father, Alexander McIntosh, descended from. And this base stone, it was pulled right from John's original orchard. So not only does this monument honor his memory, it's literally built from his history. Just like how John McIntosh's legacy still shines through every bite of a Macintosh apple, his story is carved right here for us to remember. But here's something to chew on as we wrap up. The original Macintosh orchard, it's no longer what it used to be. The land has changed, but the impact of those apples is still felt around the world. We really are lucky to have such an important monument right here at St. John's Anglican Cemetery in Iroquois. And today, We're honoring that legacy by making sure his final resting place looks as good as his apples taste. And voila! Doesn't that look beautiful? So next time you take a bite of a crisp McIntosh apple, remember the journey of that one little seedling and the family who refused to let it die. It's not just an apple, it's a piece of history, a symbol of perseverance, and a reminder that even the smallest things can leave the biggest mark.